Swiss voters have narrowly backed proposals to put a cap on the number of immigrants to the country, including those from the EU. The move jeopardizes free movement agreements the country has with the bloc, and critics say it could lead to unprecedented economic problems. RT's Lucy Kafanoff is in the Swiss capital.
Switzerland voted to shut the door to European Union workers, setting up a showdown with Brussels, as well as a potential exit from the single European market. Now, the so-called Stop Mass Immigration initiative was the brainchild of the right-wing Swiss People's Party, which wants strict quotas on foreigners for Switzerland to essentially abandon its free movement of people treaty with the EU. And supporters that we've talked to say that they're worried immigration is driving up rents, that it's undercutting local workers, and that it's burdening public services. Now, opponents had argued that immigration caps would in fact cripple economic growth, and experts do say that the Swiss economy is booming because of, not despite, foreign labor, especially when it comes to folks who have skills to work in fields like healthcare and IT, where there's a big need for skilled workers. But despite the very real economic concerns, despite the fact that unemployment here is just 3%, many voters were ultimately swayed by the argument that Switzerland simply cannot take in any more people. Now, in order to understand why, you really do have to look at the numbers. About a quarter of the country's 8 million residents aren't Swiss. There's been a huge uptick in immigration. In fact, about 80,000 new immigrants came to Switzerland last year alone. The vote will likely mean severe repercussions with Brussels. You have to remember that Switzerland isn't a member of the EU, but it has signed on to a lot of the bloc's policies in order to gain access to the European market, where Switzerland sells more than half of everything that it produces. And with 500 million customers, there's a lot of money at stake here. So a historic vote that is likely to have a significant impact on the Swiss economy, as well as on relations with the country's European neighbors. Reporting in Bern for RT, I'm Lucy Kafanoff.
The immigration issue has been polarizing Europe, with the most wealthy states fearing an influx of workers from Eastern European countries. Far-right parties have been gaining power in France, the Netherlands, and Norway in recent years, all supporting tough anti-immigration policies. And in the countries like the UK and Germany, the most pressing issue is the lifting of barriers for workers from Bulgaria and Romania. Britain's Prime Minister went as far as threatening to veto any new countries from joining the EU unless tight immigration restrictions are put into place.